And for Sweden, Janssen and Colin and Kula and Hjert as well, as Canada come first through Hickling. And Garrett Hickling just wheeling and heading round, and Cullen will try and close him off, and does so. Twirl from Hickling, gets that blonde hair bobbing and just bounces it into the path of Crone.
Great use of the bounce pass, because Cullen has huge long arms and knew where he couldn't reach it. Very experienced play.
Cullen to Per Arne Kula. And Hickling gets a hand upon the ball there.
So that's a jump ball. The arrow's pointing to Sweden, so it remains Swedish possession, but now the arrow will now change, hopefully, to point towards where Canada are going to score. That should happen when the ball is inbounded and not before.
There you are, the arrow pointing to Canada. It happens when there's a judicious ball, and now it will go to Sweden. The next jump ball will go to Sweden. It happens when there's a player gets a hand on the ball, or perhaps when the ball goes out and the referee is not sure who it's gone out of. It'll be a jump ball, and it will simply go to the side that the arrow is pointing to. It alternates. Colin, the shot clock there, scoring clock, you can see 6 seconds remaining on it, and he sneaked in to draw Sweden back level. Wilsey pops it over the top to Crone. Infield from Colin to Janssen, and Colin takes the return, tries to get away from Crone and Hirschfield. Hjert has it now, goes long to Janssen.
Nice option, could have looked like the obvious thing. That's where Dave Wilsey went to cover, but Janssen was going the other direction and was well seen.
Hirschfield gives it back to Wilsey, and Wilsey now on to Hickling. Hickling goes outside here. Colin hits him hard from the rear.
Yeah, contact foul given there. I don't think Thomas Hjert's going to get many from underneath the arm as he was trying.
Yes, you saw Hjert reaching in under the arm there and contacting Garrett Hickling. Changes again for Sweden. Back on comes Tobias Sandberg there and Mikael Wahlberg. Off go Colin and Kula. Simple one forward to Crone, which will bring Thomas Hjert back in. There's Wahlberg. When he's on the court, he's always the man to inbound it. Nice one over the top by Hjert. Outside Sandberg arriving. Garrett Hickling closes him down. And Sandberg now closed in, and that will be a contact foul as well, will it?
Yeah, Garrett Hickling called for that. I thought the first time he reached was probably quite sensible. Stopped Sandberg getting off an easy pass. But then just tried a little bit too hard. Call for the contact foul. I think he thought he felt a ball there and thought he'd just try and grab it out of his hands.
Sandberg again locked in the middle there, but this time he just pop it over to Hjert. And Thomas Hjert will score. Garrett Hickling will come back on. Garrett Hickling will instantly go to be the inbounder. Limits the options for Canada, and it pays off for Sweden as it's taken by Hjert. And Sweden with the chance to take the edge here. Long pass, Sandberg gathers. work by Wilsey, getting a hand in there legally, and Krohn went in and spun off the edge of Wahlberg's chair.
But that came off Canada, so the shot clock has been reset to 40. It was down to 11, so Sweden were under some pressure, and Canada hitting the ball out has actually given them a little bit more time to recover.
There's Kevin Orr in charge of Canada.
So a US coach for the Canada team and a Canadian team for the Canadian coach, sorry, for the Swedish team. It is truly an international sport.
So we're just about ready to go again. This will go straight from Wahlberg to Sandberg, and Sandberg will try and find a way through. The referee's having a discussion.
I think it's a question of whether the shot clock gets reset. We shall see. All the table officials have been being trained up over the last year or so, getting ready for the paras. Obviously they're under great scrutiny as well. So yeah, there's been an issue with the shot clock. It's gone down to 16. I thought I saw it go down to 11. So I'm not sure why they've chosen 16.
Well, this test event is a test as much in preparation for the officials, for everyone here involved with the staging this, as it is for the players. And still, we're not entirely happy with things over there. Switch it off and switch it back on again. Control, Alt, Delete.
So yeah, it's gone down to 10 seconds, which I think is the right thing. So pressure on Sweden now.
Sandberg, 7 seconds, 6 remaining on this scoring attempt here. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, gets it into, and Sweden do score. Thomas so they do.
Judged as going out before he caught the ball. So Chris van der Riet saying no goal.
Over the line before he took that
close
ball. Unlucky for Sweden. It was good work by Sandberg in particular. But here to just overrun. Wilsey complaining. He's had a couple of tussles with Janssen today.
Yeah, but I guess all these contact fouls and people in the sin bin shows that Sweden is certainly up for it, and yeah, they may be penalised once or twice, but they're also getting turnovers here and there, so that's the way you've got to play sometimes.
Oh, Hickling with the fumble. It'll go back to Sweden. You can hear the noise coming from the Swedish bench as well. Even they're fired up. A different Swedish side. From Wahlberg to Geert. Hickling trying to make amends by squeezing Geert back. Just opposite. Sideways to Sandberg. Has to gather that before it went back into his own half. Geert now. No way past Hickling there. Hickling reaching out his long arms.
Yeah, he shouldn't reach. They just they got 4 on 3. They should make this count.
Sandberg to Geert, and against the head, Sweden score because they still have Janssen in the bin, and that's an important score.
Yeah, a big morale boost when you're playing with just 3 against 4 like that, and you still manage to score very good stuff. And Dave Wilsey showing his frustrations.
Long it goes to Krohn, and Canada will get an easy score, but that will bring Janssen back in, and while they were down a man, they managed to score themselves, so nothing given up there. when it comes from Wahlberg to Geert again. And will he make it? No, he won't. Sandberg, despite all his pace, can't quite get there in time.
Yeah, a little nibble from Dave Wilsey. Maybe that's the last action he'll see for a little bit, but very effective. Managed to slow Sandberg down just enough, and he couldn't score the goal.
So Wilsey is off. On comes Zach Madel and Whitehead. Hirschfield is there as well, and Jared Funk. Changes being rung by Canada again. Well, people are getting quite animated down there. Whitehead and Sandberg in a tussle, and Sandberg
the referees have got a very difficult job. Lots of reaching in here.
Far more ferociously fought this match than their earlier tussle, and Whitehead straight through for the score.
He'll slow it down, get the two low pointers to mark Tobias Sandberg before he comes on.
But Sandberg will have to act as the inbounder now then. So that means there's a lack of a 3.5 out there. But a nice little 1-2 work with Wahlberg, frees Sandberg to have a gallop upfield. And Madel comes in to try and unsettle him. Good blocking though on Hirschfield, and Sandberg is in. Quickly taken by Hirschfield to Whitehead. Madel. And Zach Madel, the 18-year-old, and only just 18, is in for another goal. Sandberg, Madel racing back to cover Janssen. Sandberg still going, Janssen trying to block out Whitehead, but over the top Sandberg sends it to Geert. This is much better from Sweden. Watch Madel go, trying to get himself free from Sandberg. So now Jared Funk trying to occupy Sandberg to give Madel a bit of space, and Geert's putting his hand in there where he shouldn't. Off he goes. It's worth the risk sometimes. Try and get your hand in there, get it on the ball, get a jump ball, but if you make contact with a player, then you're off.
I think generally when the player's going past you, you've obviously just been beaten for speed. The referees aren't going to call it, because essentially your arm will come in contact with the body before you actually get a decent jump ball. That
familiar switch of 3.5 for 3.5 for Sweden has happened again. PG Ullman coming on for Tobias Sandberg. There's Madel, and Ullman making his presence felt immediately. Madel just gets it away to Whitehead though.
PG Ullman very sensible there, didn't go for the extra push that might have pushed that Madel out, because that could have been called a flagrant foul, which would have caused them all sorts of trouble.
Madel trying to wrap up PG Ullman. Good race between Ullman and Whitehead here, and Ullman wins it.
A great pick and roll from Thomas Geert down there, taking Zach Madel off Ullman to give him that space to go running.
Quickly in from Hirschfield to Whitehead. Ullman just about got Whitehead, but Whitehead did well, and then sees Madel long, and Madel is in.
I would say call that by his fingertips, but he doesn't have any fingertips, so he did very well to bring that in.
Geert. Wahlberg trying to occupy Whitehead, does it well. PG Ullman. Ullman with Geert outside, and it's to Geert that he goes now. And Sweden levelling it up. It's goal for goal at the moment. This quarter just falling into a rhythm. Clatters off the ball as Sweden try to mark out Madel, but he gets himself away.
PG Ullman getting a good jump ball there, and it's going to be Canada possession, but it's always very important to get these jump balls, because now the arrow will change, and if that happens again, then Sweden will have got a turnover.
So Sweden sit back deep in a key defence. 3 in the key area. You're only allowed 3 in defence in the key area, the box there. Whitehead takes it over, finds Madel, in he goes. Ullman thumping the side from Whitehead, so Janssen comes in and tries to take him out. Little missile coming in, Janssen. And Geert, risky one for Ullman, and Ullman is caught by Whitehead and can't get to that ball.
Well, Chris van der Riet saying it's a Swedish ball. Again, the shot clock has been reset to 40. I think there will be more discussions here.
There's Chris van der Riet, one of the two referees here.
Yeah, shot clock's gone to 27 where it was.
And Ullman gets a bit of pressure coming in from Whitehead.
Yeah, Ullman being interviewed before saying, what are you going to do differently? He didn't seem to be very inspiring, but whatever they've done has worked.
Simple, they just said they had to be better. Geert over the top to Janssen, Whitehead coming in, and Janssen sneaks in.
So it's just a first contact warning, so PG Ullman doesn't have to sit off.
Hirschfield to Whitehead. Whitehead looks for Madel, finds him. Janssen and PJ Ullman are back there. Madel is just delayed for a moment by Janssen, gave Ullman time to get back there. Whitehead is in the sandwich there, but gets it away to Hirschfield, who started the move and finished it at the other end.
Again, it didn't result in a turnover, but that niggle slowed people down, allowed the Swedish players to recover and put more pressure on Canada. It's a very effective tactic.
Madel containing Johan Ullman. Janssen is going long, watched by Hirschfield, so Ullman will go all the way himself. Certainly a bit more feistiness in this game as well, as more competition. Whitehead again from between Wahlberg and Ullman, he manages to break away. Gets that pass to Madel right down in the corner though. Time out he calls just before he goes out.
Yeah, Mike Whitehead opting for their pass rather than pushing out is very close to the 12-second count. But it just drove Zach Madel into a corner and he had to pull the timeout.
Canada making changes again, but here was the pass. Madel heading for the corner at high speed, gathers it, time out. He was a wheelchair basketball player. Again, we've talked about the classifications beforehand. Wheelchair rugby was really invented for those who didn't quite have the full limb function to play basketball, so he is right at the top end of function in wheelchair rugby. As Crone, who is on, will look for Hickling. Oh, and beyond Garrett Hickling, mistake from Canada.
Canada sometimes do rely on their very accurate passing, but when that's not going according to plan, it leads to turnovers.
And you get the impression that Canada are feeling the pressure a bit more from Sweden. They're being pressurised into these mistakes. Over the top from Sandberg to Geert and long to Janssen, who takes and puts Sweden in front. Maybe
they were lulled into a false sense of security, but I think they will come out firing. I think they played pretty well actually. Canada's just been stepping up from Sweden.
Step up in pace and intensity. Dave Wilsey now. Hirschfield, little spin from him, and Wilsey, is he out?
Yeah, he's called a timeout just as he was going over that halfway line. If he'd got knocked back, that would have been a turnover, an over and back turnover, so he had to call a timeout. That's 2 timeouts in quick succession.
He always does it with such a casual air, Dave Wilsey. Timeout. I was never worried, never under pressure. But Canada are feeling a bit of the pressure into the final minute in this half. So Sweden retreat into a key defence there. 3 men in the key area. Janssen sitting just outside. And Wilsey, when he gets it, will inbound it to Hickling. He'll charge forward at full tilt. Into the final minute then. Hickling just looking to see if he can spy a weakness in the defence. Goes towards Wahlberg. And Hickling throws it to Wilsey, just gets it before toppling over the line, and we're back all square. Big play this one into the final 40 seconds of this half. Wahlberg gets it to Geert, and look at the pressure coming on from Canada, but a long pass for Janssen and Sandberg. Jay Sandberg has it, and just wheels, eats up the clock a little bit. Again, you want to ensure that you are the last side to score in the quarter.
The Swedish two low pointers are trying to keep Garrett Hickling out of this defence. They don't want him reaching in. They know how good he is at that.
10 seconds remaining, and forward it goes to Geert, who will be shunted over the line, and 8 seconds left. It is still just enough time for Canada to try and score and draw level. Push, says Benoit Labrec to his Swedish team. Hickling coming forward then, look at the clock, 5 seconds remaining. Garrett Hickling, 3 seconds, and good challenge from Sandberg and Sweden. It's a very different Swedish side we have seen in this half.